Welcome to
3 Ps in a Podcast.
Volume 10, we've made it. It is
double digits, boys.
Yeah.
The biggest volume of them all.
Yeah. Well,
We'll
we
see.
also didn't have an episode last week. So...
Yeah. But
well.
we're here. We're here now.
Back and better than
Let's kick it right off. Let's get right into it.
So we'll start with news, and I think everybody saw this, and it was the burning of the church in France.
Yes, the Notre Dame Cathedral.
Yes.
Notre Dame.
No,
Oh,
whatever.
sorry.
Sorry, my American got the best of me there. The Notre Dame.
Exactly. Yeah, no, that was a pretty big deal. I believe it was confirmed that it was construction that caused the fire.
Really?
Mhm.
Yes. Although, I've read on Twitter, so this isn't my own opinion, but a fire of that size doing that much damage caused by an accidental construction fire, that's kind of suspicious. And I also think it's the week of Easter.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. It just seems kind of odd to me. There's no other proof. But
Accidental
I'm suspicious.
fires can cause a lot of destruction.
I don't know. I'm a little suspicious, but they're saying it's construction, so I'm rolling with construction. Also, of course, more hot takes on Twitter. This is giving white girls an excuse to post about their trip to Paris and France.
Yes.
Which I personally haven't seen any pictures of that.
Yeah,
Oh,
I haven't
if
either.
you scroll through Instagram, it'll be like, R.I.P., like the cathedral, it was so pretty. Those are their captions, but the pictures are of them like in really cute outfits, like in front of the church, that like they just didn't post when they went.
Right.
That's
so it's
funny.
like, oh, I loved going to France. So sorry your church burnt down.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
Well,
it's awful.
No, that is disgusting. I saw a tweet, and it was this white girl who tweeted, the burning of the Notre Dame Cathedral is so aesthetically pleasing. And she, posted pictures of, the smoke rising out and, turned down the saturation on the photos. And everyone's like, what is wrong with you? This isn't aesthetically pleasing. It's, a historical
It's a
monument.
devastation.
It's terrible.
Yeah.
Whatever. Yeah, that's kind of a big deal.
So on to something not happier, but a little less horrible. Evan watched a video. Why don't you tell us about it?
Oh, yeah. So shout out to Vox for making the best, most informational videos, with great infographics and just
for
great,
real.
I'm big into these and they're super interesting. But I watched this one recently. It just came out a couple days ago, talking about the new Boeing planes, the two that crashed, killing over almost 400 people. It was
my
350, 400
Mhm.
people in the two separate crashes. And I'd heard about it, but it was in, one was in Indonesia and one was in Ethiopia. So honestly, being an American, of course, I kind of just was like, yeah, whatever. Didn't really think much about it.
Mhm.
But I saw this video on it and I was like, oh, this sounds interesting, So I watched the video, and basically the two planes, the two most popular plane manufacturers are Airbus and Boeing. And Boeing has 38% of the market. Airbus has 30%, and then the other whatever, would that be 32% is other. But yeah, so it was really interesting in the way that they were talking about well, you've obviously been on an Airbus or a Boeing at some point in your life, if you've flown any of the main airlines, you've been on one of the two. But basically what happened, it was in 2010, Airbus came out with a new model that made the engine more efficient, blah blah blah. And so when that happened, a lot of times what happens with two big companies like that have an oligopoly on a market like that, the other companies immediately looking to match and create their own version of basically the same thing. That way, they can stay competitive. So when the Airbus came out, they were like, yeah, you can do this we can put this new engine on, and pilots need minimal training, and then they'll be fine, and they'll be back out there, pretty much immediately. It was just a 2-hour class that they had to take, which really isn't that big of a deal. And there was no problem with putting the new engine on the Airbus, blah, 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 whatever. When Boeing tried to match, they tried to put nearly the same engine on the Boeing, but the Boeing is lower to the ground, which didn't give it enough space under the engine. So what they had to do is they had to move the engine up slightly just over the wing, which caused a drag force that would push the nose of the plane up too much during takeoff. So to counteract that, they added this. It was a sensor that in the front of the plane, it would notice if it was going too high, that it would automatically stabilize it from the back end.
Oh my god.
And which sounds like smart and everything. So this is all happening. This is like an 8-year period. Like 2018 is kind of when they added all that, and then they kind of put the new engines on the planes. So once they've put the new engines on the planes and the pilots have taken the new class, pilots were saying that there was nothing about this new system that they put in, like the stabilization system. It wasn't in the class at all. And so the New York Times did a big article on it talking about how like that needs to be remedied because, and this is before any of the crashes happened.
Mm-hmm.
They were talking about like this needs to be remedied. They need to know everything that's going on in the plane because if something goes wrong, then they have to know how to handle that. So it kind of continues on. Boeing doesn't really do anything about it. They let the planes continue to fly, and then in late 2018, the first one crashed in Indonesia 12 minutes after takeoff because there was like a malfunction in the system, and the pilots didn't know how to de-arm it and just fly it manually. That plane crashed, and then again in Ethiopia, same thing. The pilots were able to disable the automatic system, but still it was too late. So it was interesting to see, and now Boeing's under a bunch of lawsuits because they didn't explain anything about the system, to the pilots about the the new engine and the new system, and clearly it's been having issues. So all of those planes have been grounded in across the globe, and Boeing's under some fire. Which it's just interesting to see how you can go from maybe having from having something that might be a success that can keep you competitive, but when they rush it through, checks like that and everything, and don't make sure everything is running well with it, blah blah blah. It's interesting to see how they can try and push it so fast, and then it ends up backfiring for them anyways. Kind of in the same way that
progress.
right. So
especially something so dangerous,
especially technology.
For sure, yeah. So it was a very interesting video, and it kind of explained everything to me because I'm sure everyone kind of heard about it, but I kind of
didn't know why it happened.
Right, Ken kind of blown it over their head and didn't really think much about it, but it really kind of brought things to perspective for me, which I thought was really interesting. So.
Yeah. All right. Well, next we have a few announcements. So we have Evening of Jazz coming up, which is a really cool event that everyone should go to. I don't know what day it is. I think it's next Saturday. It'll be the next podcast. We'll announce the next podcast.
Yeah.
I don't think it's this week, but that's always a fun night to go to. And then the marching show theme has been announced to the band members.
I'm very excited.
The theme is Jungle.
Oh,
and
goodness.
It's the music from the movie, what was the gorilla? King Kong? Or Congo? It's either from the movie King Kong or the movie Congo, but I can't remember. I think it's King Kong.
It's King Kong.
Yeah.
Congo.
So that's the music from that movie.
Oh, cool.
So it'll be something. Nothing will ever be as good as Dracula was, but
I loved like the New Orleans theme this year.
It was good. It was good music, but shows that have a story arc and have events that go on throughout always get scored higher than just a show.
Right.
Okay. With like 3 different songs that all have a different feeling, but like no story.
Okay,
so hopefully there's something.
That makes sense.
And then the Stuco election.
Ooh, local politics really getting
really
into
local,
the grassroots.
Yeah.
So last week we had I knocked over my water bottle. Last week we had student body elections for the Stuco executives, and it was a little bit of a game changer. Some of the incumbents lost, so our new executive board is President Ben Shaw, who will be a senior.
Mm-hmm.
Vice President,
who was not on Stuco, was he?
He was on Stuco,
but he didn't hold a position.
He did not hold a position. He was just a member. And Vice President is Natalie Neer,
who's going to be a sophomore.
She will be a sophomore,
bringing in the underclassmen vote.
Secretary is Sadie Holloway, who will be a junior. Treasurer is Grace Vavak, who will be a junior also. They were both Stuco execs this year.
Yes.
And then publicist is Liz Crawford, who will be a senior. So we have upperclassmen and then 1 sophomore. I think the changes will be interesting, to say the least.
We'll see what happens. Hopefully our school continues to run well.
Yes. It was a big shock to, I think, everyone, the winners. But we'll leave it at that.
Yeah.
And next year we'll see how it goes. Things could change.
Yes.
Going along with local stuff, prom's coming up next week.
Yes.
And I have the Spirit Week stuff. I ripped a poster off the wall. I'm going to go put it back. I'm sorry, Pep Club, but here we go. Prom Spirit Week. We got Monday is Clash Day, so, mixing different patterns and colors.
Polka dots and stripes, guys.
Yep.
That's the move.
Oh, I think I'm going to go floral and stripes. I'm a big fan.
Plaid and floral. Catch me
Ooh.
at school in a floral dress and a freaking plaid. What's it called?
Jacket?
No.
Blazer?
No.
Cardigan.
What a
Turtle-
flannel. Oh my
Flannel,
god.
okay.
Flannel.
Jeez. All right. Tuesday is Halloween in April.
Oh
Pretty
my-
self-explanatory.
That's gonna be interesting.
That will be
I feel
interesting.
like that's just going to be a free-for-all day.
Oh, it is.
Yeah, just
costume.
throw on whatever you want and call
Put
it.
on
a
the
day.
Hillary mask.
Wednesday is Decades Day, and I don't think it's particularly assigned to the groups.
I thought it was by...
It's
I don't-
not this year.
I don't
Not
think
this year.
it's
It's
assigned by
it's
grade.
pick whatever you want.
Oh,
So
God.
60s, 70s, 80s, or 90s.
Throwback.
Do whatever you want. Thursday is Twin Day, so you find someone and twin with them. I gotta find my twin,
Mhm.
but so if you're looking for a twin, hit me up.
Little
And then-
self-promo there.
Yeah, a little bit. And Friday is College and Career Day, so it's mostly for the seniors to show
Yeah.
what college they're going to. But I think everyone has an old college T-shirt they can throw on
Oh,
or
for sure.
dress up like a chef or a doctor or something.
Yeah.
I think it'll be fun. I'm excited for prom.
Yes, and so prom brings us into entertainment. So yeah. That's next weekend? Yeah. Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And also, I really just want to brag about myself for a second here. So my dress is like a mustardy kind of yellow.
Mhm.
That sounds
Did you-
gross, but it's not.
My bad. Sorry, guys.
What did you say?
Did you find a color that your date could match with you?
Well, yellow. I don't know. My date and I are gonna go look for a tie, but we'll see how it goes.
Yeah.
But what I want to brag about is I made my own corsage and boutonniere because I
Really?
wanted sunflowers. They don't really
Aw.
do sunflowers.
No.
So
You're just
like,
going to the wrong place.
No, I looked online and stuff, and I didn't see like any like
But
pre-made
you gotta
ones.
go into floral shop.
I know, but I was nervous about that, and I wanted it to be the way I wanted.
Okay,
And
okay.
they would
Allie.
also be really expensive. Like a
Yeah.
lot of the ones I saw were like $30 to $45, and I am not doing that. And I offered to pay for the boutonniere and the corsage,
Oh.
so I made them myself with fake flowers, and they look so freaking good.
Yeah.
And it cost less than $15 to make both of them.
Nice.
So-
Deals.
DIY. If I'll post a video.
Are you the only one here going to prom?
Yeah,
Yep.
I guess so. Yeah,
Fun.
yeah, because Miss Nichole's gonna be in Anaheim on the journalism trip.
Wow, just get all the serial killers just to know
Yeah.
my location on that.
Mhm.
Allie, thanks.
Oh my god.
Yeah, follow me to
As if you're not gonna be posting pictures.
Oh, trust me, I will because my Instagram is dormant. It's so bad.
But
Yeah.
anyway.
I'm kind of mad I'm missing prom, but I also have next year, and that's the only prom that matters.
Yeah.
And it's not like it's going to be a whole lot different. Same
Yeah.
venue. So
Right.
That'll be cool.
Yeah.
But straying away from school stuff, Disney's coming out with their own new streaming service.
I
Nicole.
am so excited. Oh my god. So you might have realized that a lot of the Disney movies have been taken off Netflix, which kills me because what else am I supposed to watch? So now Disney's coming out with their streaming service, and it includes all the Disney movies, Pixar movies, DreamWorks, and
I think
the
Disney
Marvel
shows.
movies. Yeah, and the Disney shows.
So like Hannah Montana,
Oh my god.
Sweet Life.
I didn't think about that. Oh my god. I'm
All that
so
sort of
excited. I am so excited.
What's it called? Disney X? Something like that? Maybe? I don't
Something
know.
like that. I don't know, but I'm so excited. And it's cheaper than Netflix.
Ooh,
I
that's
think it's
such a
like
bet.
$7 and Netflix is like $9
Oh,
or $10.
I'm so excited.
Yeah, same.
Um,
And then you have music.
yeah, I got. Would it be a podcast episode if I didn't rant about how much I love Casey Musgraves?
I'm pretty sure you've at least mentioned her name once in
Like,
every podcast.
Yeah, for sure. At least like the past couple ones.
Oh, yeah.
But Brooks and Dunn, who is, you could say an iconic country band, is
Mhm.
two Kix Brooks and Ronnie Dunn.
Yeah.
Their most well known song is probably Neon Moon. Really kind of hickish, but it's such a good song.
Kinda hickish.
Kind of hickish.
That should,
It's just-
that
it's
should
like-
be your Instagram bio.
Kinda
Kinda hickish. That would fit you so well.
Bet. Or maybe my Twitter bio.
Yeah, your Twitter bio.
But anyway, so the Brooks and Dunn released. They're an older group. They were
Yeah.
popular in the 90s. Anyway, they
It's
released.
not old, Allie.
Okay,
oh
but
my
it's
God.
older, and
Yes,
like the style of country from the '90s to now is so different.
Twangy.
But what they're trying to do is appeal to like younger country fans now.
Yeah.
So they did a reboot album where they took most of their popular songs and redid them with current popular country artists.
Mm-hmm.
So they sound newer, and I think they just let them take the lead on it.
Oh, that's good.
So Casey Musgraves did them an honor by singing Neon Moon with them, and it's the most beautiful thing. One of the most beautiful things I've ever heard.
Good.
And I love the original version of that song, so you're really skeptical of hearing covers of your favorite songs.
Mm-hmm.
Beautiful. She outdid herself. It's wonderful. And, like, Luke Combs redid Brand New Man, and it still has that, like, twangy southern sound, but it's a little bit more upbeat. Thomas Rhett, who sings beautiful country love songs, redid My Maria, and it's a little bit softer, and it's so good. It is so good. So if you are interested in getting into country music, you should be.
Yeah.
Listen to this album. It might kind of lead you there.
Yes.
It's beautiful. I highly respect Brooks and Dunn for doing all of this. Speaking of music, American Idol.
Yes. Oh my gosh. Okay, so I have been watching it since the beginning this year, and it's really good. There's a few people that are in the top 14 that suck so bad, and I just really wish they'd leave. But I think that's with every group. But there's some really good people. There's a little country singer. His name is Lane. I don't remember his last name, but his first name's Lane, and he's so cute, and he's so good at singing country. Like, it's like kind of country rock and roll, and oh my God. He's gonna be in the top
rock
5.
man.
And he wears suits. He's 17, and he goes out there in suits and a guitar.
Yeah.
And it's so cute.
Country man. That is a...
It's
I
terrible.
respect it.
And then I'm trying to think of some. Yeah, that's Allie in a vine right there. I'm trying to think of anybody else that like comes to mind, but honestly, that kid is really good.
Yay.
So I don't know. You
Well,
guys should
good to
watch
hear.
it. It's in the like good stages where they're starting to narrow it down a lot. So
Nice.
it's good.
Also, Laramie Project is next week. It's, I believe, it's about a boy who was...
So it was a hate crime against a member of the LGBT community. I don't remember anything else.
It was in, like, I think it was a northern state, like Michigan or something. Michigan
Yeah.
or Wisconsin, something like that. And basically the play is just them going through all these, like, different, like, interviews that they did.
It was
with
in
people of the
Wyoming.
town. Wyoming. Yes, you're right. Laramie, Wyoming. I was totally wrong. But,
21-year-old student at the University of Wyoming was tied to a fence post, severely beaten, robbed, tortured, and left alone to die. So, yeah.
Yeah, I'm really interested to see it, especially because it's like a lot of the seniors' final play, so I think they'll put a lot of emotion into it.
Yeah.
So you should definitely get out and see it. Remember, it is Monday, Tuesday, Thursday next week because of weird schedule and because of prom and everything. It's Monday, Tuesday, Thursday. Make sure you're there.
Yeah.
Lots of emotion and lots of hard work's gone into this, I'm sure, for the
Yes.
seniors' final show.
And there's a lot of different parts because it's a compilation of a bunch of interviews. Like, someone described it to me as a lot of, like, monologues.
Yes.
So everyone is playing multiple parts. So it's going to be really interesting to see. I'm definitely going to go see it. Really excited.
It's not your classic musical
It-
that
yes.
they normally
It's
do.
going to be a much harder hitting. And they're also
Yes.
donating, I think, to either something, an organization associated with the Laramie Project and helping members of the LGBT community. I'm sure you can go on the South Theater website and find more
they have it,
information if you want to donate and help with that.
Yeah.
Oh, a little bit of a lighter topic. Those were some hard-hitting things,
Yes.
some
Yeah.
funny things. But let's talk about sports, boys.
So our softball team, it was tweeted that they lost their last game against like the East, but the
Yes.
game before that,
They won.
they won. And it was not a forfeit win.
No.
It was a real win.
And yeah, that's huge.
There was a handful of runs, so it means there was more than a handful of hits. So that's pretty good. They're hitting the ball. It's pretty good.
Yeah, no,
Yeah,
for sure.
relative
Super
to
happy for them.
Yes, yeah.
On top of that, girls soccer had a huge win last night, 2-1. I actually went to the game.
Ooh.
Very entertaining. It was kind of weird. It was like a very slow game, but all of a sudden a ball would get played over the top, and it was like everyone would just run after it, and whoever kind of got there first, it would determine whether the ball was going to be cleared away or there was going to be a goal scored there. So,
Interesting.
but yeah, South really outplayed LA the East, and I was looking at Max Prep's rankings last night, kind of trying to get a feel to see if our girls were even in the top 25. They weren't, And Olathe East was number 16, and it really looked like South really outplayed them. So I'll be interested to see next week when the rankings come out if they get any kind of recognition in that top 25. Because, I mean, South had a rough start to the season, but they've really picked things back up as it should. So.
Well, and it's probably because they've lost so many people and they just had to refigure their team and who was going to play what.
So many injuries.
They probably got to figure it out now, hopefully.
Also today was college signings. We had 7 girls soccer players.
Oh my God.
Sign.
Really?
Yeah. Carolyn Schneck, Lexi House, Rebecca Beeler, Savannah Hasker, Tess Conley, Katrina Sargent. All 7 of them are all signing to go play in college. And then we also had Skylar Rhodes for basketball, Johnson County Community College.
And Emma Ross for track.
Emma Ross, Mason, Fitzmaurice.
Well, she signed for track for everything.
Subi Lewis.
She's an all-around track.
Subi Lewis, Sam Macklin, and I think there's one more that I'm missing.
I thought there was only 4. Never mind.
Oh no, baseball. Tanner Thurlow signed for baseball. So that was all of our college signings today. Missouri College. Yeah,
I know
Missouri
someone
Valley.
else who went there, so I.
Yeah. So, but really good to see. Dr. Johnson said that this was the largest class or spring class he's ever had signed for sports.
Yeah, it's a lot of athletes.
And a lot of good, really good academic students in there as well, on top of just being really good athletes. So it's really good to see. So that's really good to see.
Yeah, well, this year's senior class is so talented in athletics. Like,
for sure.
Low key, we're gonna struggle without them next year.
Yeah, I don't think any of our sports are going to be very good.
I think they'll be like decent. You know, we'll win some.
Baseball
will
will be fine because we still have Daniel.
And I think Miles
Team
McKenna,
savior.
the freshman, is pretty good.
Basketball, not. I mean,
we'll just see. We'll see. I think it's gonna be an interesting. It's gonna be an interesting
team
year.
For girls is going to kick butt next year. I'm just going to call it now. No hope for the boys though.
Great.
Oh gosh.
So then we have Pace. They just announced all their captains.
For sure.
And with that comes their extravaganza end of the year recital. It's not called recital, but it's a show.
It is a recital.
And it also is where the old captains pass on like the rose, the torch to the new captains. And it's like the best show.
Oh, I love it. I went last year totally not expecting anything.
I love when their boyfriends or best friends go on stage, like all the guys. And then their dads, they have a dad and daughter dance.
Yeah. Not gonna lie.
Is Zeb gonna dance with his mom?
I don't know for sure.
Oh,
we'll see.
That'd be so cute.
But yeah, last year Ben forced me to go, and I was like, oh, that's whatever. And then I go, and I was like, wow, that was actually incredible. It was a lot of fun. So May 2nd and 3rd this year, make sure you're there.
Because we only get to see like little snippets of it during the assemblies.
And
it's only like the hip hop stuff because that's what the crowd likes. But they really do perform like ballet and lyrical stuff.
It's incredible.
It's really good.
I'm excited.
It's their big
my
night.
First year.
It's their big night, and it's their big senior send off. So it's a lot of fun.
And they would probably love everyone to show up.
Oh yeah,
for sure.
Support.
Yeah,
our girl Abby Cox, our photo editor, is on Pace. She's also
gonna be a captain next year.
Yeah, she's one of the like lieutenants. There's like 2 main captains and then like 2 like assistant captain. I don't remember the levels. She's not a cheerleader, can you tell? But
no, not at all.
Abby's up there.
Yeah,
she'll be dancing. Shout out to her. Go see her.
Sure.
So in the big realm of sports, we have Tiger Woods winning his 5th
Masters. Yep.
I did watch some of that. It was pretty good.
Yeah, just incredible to see how he came back over a 4-year span and finally got back into contention. And I mean, he won a tournament last year after a lot of people had written him off. He won the tour championship, and then all of a sudden, just kind of came out of nowhere at the Masters. Like, he was kind of hanging around in the back.
Yeah.
Molinari kind of fell apart on the back 9, and then Tiger just kind of took advantage of the opportunity.
Master's always a master, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah, I have no comments. I don't think golf is a sport. That's all.
Wow.
Okay, we won't get into that.
On that bombshell, we won't get into that debate. We'll let Nichole talk about
I just
bowling.
put something on our little agenda. So speaking of televised sports, the bowling PBA, so it's
Tuesday afternoons.
No, it does play during like good times at night. It's at like 5. Okay, that's like prime time for sports, and it's on ESPN. So shut up. If it's on ESPN, it's a sport. Anyway, so the bowling stepladder finals is like the last bowling tournament of the year, and they have 2 different brackets. Which yes, I filled out my bowling bracket. So
my God!
I did.
She filled out her bowling bracket.
Dude, I am in the top 2,000 right now. I am doing so good. It's good so far.
2,000 people filled out one of those.
Dude, it's like
No, more than 2,000 filled them out.
yeah, because I haven't like those. It's 2,000 and it's a perfect bracket so far. Anyway,
Oh my
no,
God.
okay, you all need to watch at least one televised
Fine,
bowling.
I will watch one.
You
I
will
watch
no,
one.
listen. You will gain so much respect for this sport. It is amazing. Okay,
Oh
it's amazing.
My God. Oh,
Anyway.
RIP headphone users. Sorry.
Sorry, guys.
Are you done?
Okay,
Yeah,
Are
I
you-
guess I don't want to be bashed. for
let's
this
talk about
anymore.
hockey and basketball.
Like those are any better.
Well,
Oh.
talking.
Ooh, geez.
Speaking of playoffs,
Hey.
speaking of playoffs,
I'm done.
the NHL and NBA playoffs are going on right now. Those of you big basketball people, we got the Warriors and the Clippers tied 1-1. Houston's up 1-0 on the Jazz. Portland's up 2-0 on Oklahoma City. A little bit of a surprise there. Denver even 1-1 with the Spurs. Milwaukee's up 1-0 on Detroit. Boston's up 1-0 on Indianapolis. Philly and Brooklyn are tied 1-1. Toronto and Orlando are tied 1-1. So that's as of Wednesday at noon.
Cool beans.
So obviously things will change over by Friday. It's really early. It's kind of hard to tell. But hockey playoffs move much quicker. And we're already through the first round in some
Hockey
series.
players are the ugliest sport men.
Oh, have you
Besides
not,
wrestlers,
have you never
but
seen?
there's a few good ones.
Oh my
Have you,
God.
hold on, have you never seen the Minnesota State all hockey hair team? It's a thing. This guy makes a video on it every year, and like guys will go out, like if they make it to the state tournament in hockey, because hockey's a high school sport in Minnesota. They will go trying to make the all hockey hair team. Like they won't care about how they play. They just want to make the all hockey hair team, and it's hilarious.
Oh my god.
But anyways, so we're already through a couple series. The Tampa Bay Lightning came off, and you guys, this will make sense to you guys. The Tampa Bay Lightning came off of the greatest season in NHL history, or tied the greatest record in NHL history. They had 62 wins and got swept in the first round by the Columbus Blue Jackets 4-0. They lost. It's best of 7 series, and they lost 4 games in a row, and that was just it. Like, their season was over. Like, they went from the best side of history to the worst side of history.
Wow, I guess that's what happens when you're cocky and you don't prepare.
For sure, yeah.
Ooh,
The Maple Leafs are up 2-1 on the Bruins. The Capitals, defending Stanley Cup champions, are up 2-1 on the Hurricanes. Let's go Caps. Islanders won the series against the Penguins, and the Penguins are usually a solid contender, and the Islanders just showed up this year and won.
Penguins.
Pittsburgh Penguins.
Yeah.
Yep, good job.
Yeah.
They swept the Penguins 4-0. Nashville's up 2-1 on the Stars. The Jets and the Blues series are tied up 2-2. Colorado's up 2-1 on the Flames. The Sharks are up the Golden Knights are up 3-1 on the Sharks.
Can we talk about these names?
Yeah.
The Golden Knights.
Golden Knights, Sharks, Avalanche Flames, Blues Jets, Predators Stars, Islanders Penguins, Capitals Hurricanes, Bruins Maple Leafs, Lightning
Maple
Blue
Leafs. Is that a
Jackets.
Canadian team?
Yeah, it's Toronto.
Wow.
How original.
Who cares about the
Anyway.
standings? Those names?
All right, so is that the last
that's
one?
gonna
That's it.
that's gonna
That's
wrap
cool,
it up on the list. But yeah, I think overall it was a pretty good episode. We went a
Yeah.
little bit longer for you guys because it is volume 10.
Yeah.
We hope
Just
you
for
enjoy.
you.
Right.
Yeah.
We
Next
hope you
week it'll
enjoy.
just be me and Evan.
Yeah.
Because Nicole's gonna be in
Nicole's gonna be
Anaheim.
gone.
I love you guys.
Aww.
We'll miss you. Enjoy
I
Anaheim.
won't.
Yeah, it's fine, Allie. I definitely won't be thinking of you when
It's fine.
Yep.
Well, anyways, thanks so much for listening, guys. Yeah, this is volume 10. Maybe the biggest one yet.
Heck yeah.